A new year, a new craft. Am I right? A couple of months ago, I thrifted this needle felting kit for the whopping price of a whole euro. However, I do not plan to needle felt this slightly unsettling, cute-ish bear. No. I think maybe a year ago I also thrifted this cute vintage little number. Woolen cardigan, very soft, very nice color. However, I might have worn it once since buying it. And that is clearly a pity, and that should be remedied. You are of course all smart enough to put one and one together. I want to upcycle this cardigan with this needle felting kit and make sure that I will wear it more than once. I think the person who bought this kit tried. At least the red felt is open. All the rest is still closed in the original packaging. When I saw the felting kit, I immediately thought of this cardigan because the combination of these colors reminds me of those really girly, funky applique sweaters and skirts as well that you saw throughout the 50s and 60s. You know, think the pink ladies in Greece. What I would love to put on this cardigan is two, you can hear me coming, right? Abstracted, folky flowers. Think Orla Kiely. Just two down the middle over here. I think that would be the cutest thing to put on this cardigan. Now, maybe as you could gather from my New Year, New Craft, I have never done any kind of needle felting before. So I want to sketch out some guidelines for myself, and to help me with that, I'm going to use my T-pin case because it's round, and some tailor's chalk just to get the shapes, well, symmetrical and where I want them. This looks weird because I'm wearing it over my jumper, my sweater, but just to see, I think maybe I want the flower heads to be like right over here a bit. Yeah, I don't want them to, you know, so flower heads can go a little bit higher, stems down. Right. That looks about right, even though I don't know if you can see anything, but the most important thing is that I can see my lines, and then we can get to stabby. If you are not yet familiar with it, needle felting is done with these needles that have like little hooks or claws, teeth on the sides of them, so that the wool gets jabbed, stabbed together, and it crunches all together and makes something sturdy and, well, yes, felted. I think for this one I'm going to start with a red inert, a red heart for the flower, and I'm going to switch that around on the other one. I'm having fun. This is both very mindful, like you don't want to stab in your fingers, and you also try to make a nice figure, but also very mindless. It's just stab, 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 stab. Leaving all the frustrations behind. There will be no frustrations in 2026 because I have stabbed them all. I am aware that this 4-petal flower design with like the really simple leaves might look a little bit childish, or to say it with an aesthetic, clowncore. But as this is my very first time needle felting, I wanted something simple. Something that even I could not mess up. Like, I have seen Evie's gorgeous cardigan with like the almost hyper-realistic spindle on the back of it. If I was a little bit more confident with this material, then I think I could do a thing like that as well. I am a visual artist outside of this YouTube realm as well. I know how to paint, I know how to draw, so I could probably paint with wool as well. But for now I was like, let's keep it simple and first figure out the technique. How does this actually work? And I also just like Orla Kiely style flowers. Like, it's going to be amazing anyway, even though if it looks like it could be drawn by a 5-year-old. 5-year-olds can be amazing artists. So much is true. Oftentimes when I see wool to felt, it is mostly comb top, and it is something that you could probably buy to spin with as well. But this seems... yeah, this has a total staple length of ½ centimeter, it seems. Oftentimes also when I see felting wool, it's merino. This just says wool, and I know for a fact that the merino lobby will have merino on it when it is merino, so I don't know what this actually is. Probably waste. But it's working, it's working. Oh, and just to be clear, the merino lobby, that's a term that I coined. It's not something that actually exists, but it's what I call the pervasive advertisements that merino is the only soft wool and stuff. That's what I call the merino lobby, whose sole purpose it is to make people believe that all wool is scratchy except for merino. They are like a comic villain. For me. I don't think that's too shabby for my first flower. Now, I said I was going to switch around these colors, but what I think I'm going to do instead for the second flower is keep the light pink petals but make a blue heart instead. I think the red is just too stark against everything else. Like, the pastel pink and the dark green go really nicely with the teal, with the turquoise, but the red might be a little bit too stark to have it twice. When it comes to trying new crafts, I always take my tried and true method of diving in headfirst without much preparation. However, I did watch a couple of Reels videos on needle felting, and one of those said that if the following happens, you have felted well. I think I might need to reshape that flower a little bit. It looked nice while the cushion was underneath, but now I see that I have quite a bit of gaps in between the petals. That's not what we want. This really scratches the itch of personalizing things. Even as a kid, as a teenager, I always wanted to have this personal touch to all my stuff, sometimes be furniture included. And what I said about the mindful, mindless nature of this activity, it also like robs me of words. I don't know what to say during this video. Oh, maybe I'm going a little bit That's cute. Yeah, so as I was saying, I'm not saying a lot in this video. I don't know what to say. I just want to stab, 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 stab. I'm really in the flow of this new craft. I was talking to a friend earlier today about how some crafts can take up the entire bandwidth of your brain. Like, whenever I am painting or drawing, I'm just so focused on getting the shade, the value, the color correct, and just... yeah, it is no thoughts, only craft. And for my friend, that was ceramics. And right now I'm actually experiencing kind of the same thing. No thoughts, only craft. Actually, that's just such a nice feeling. I know it's not great when you're trying to film a YouTube video, but you know, I like this feeling of no thoughts, only craft. Is there a particular craft where you have experienced this? Like, it's just, it takes up the entire bandwidth of what you are capable of right now, and that's okay. No thoughts, only craft. It's getting quite dark outside, so I think I'm going to go in and refine all of this at a later time when there is more sunlight. And since I also still have like used approximately nothing of this wool, maybe think about a design for the back, or maybe something on the sleeves. That would be cute too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're not done yet. After careful consideration and some advice from friends that I trust with their crafty opinion, I have decided that these two flowers are all that this cardigan needs. However, I am not done hyper-focusing on this new to me craft. I grabbed one of my plain beige skirts, the one that I wear the least because the other one gets picked more frequently, and I think since this is a circle skirt, it would be a nice, almost matching set with the cardigan. Like, if I also put the same kind of flowers on here, yeah, I think that would be peak 50s vibes, right? I think I want it a little bit asymmetrical on this skirt, so I think I'm going to put a flower here and here, and then leave the rest beige. Like, you know, the poodle skirts that you see in 50s inspired media, and probably also in the actual 1950s, they had like just one thing on one side, and that's kind of the vibe I want to emulate. And once more, I'm going to use my T-pins as a stencil. I'm realizing that it would be cute to do a flower on each panel. That would be cute. I'll start with just these two, and then I'll decide later. But that would be cute. Oh, that would be so cute to have a flower on each panel. Dang it! I think this time I'm going to use the pink as the heart of the flowers. This is a not as vibrant background, so I think the red and blue will fit on this beige as the 4 petals. This is a completely different experience than the very soft knit fabric I was poking in earlier. This is like a more sturdier boiled wool skirt. Yeah, it's a really different experience. I realized that leaving it at one flower is also a fashionable and probably respectable choice. And yes, I did go with the less is more approach for the cardigan, but I really like doing this. I'm getting so much enjoyment out of it, like especially just this flower, that I'm thinking for the skirt more is more. So at least I'm going to do this exact thing on the other side so that it is symmetry. And if I still think more is more, yes, it's going to be one flower every panel. I also am getting like faster at it. I think this flower took me 20 minutes. Yeah. What I'm also going to do is grab some of my own wool. I'm not going to limit myself to the color palette of this €1 kit. Especially, I want to do this heart of the flower, light blue, and then have blue petals. Right? Yeah, I think it's going to be so cute. If you want to get a lot of stabbing done very quickly, then I do recommend a power and folk metal playlist. I'm currently working on my 4th flower over here. So I've got 2 flowers, 2 empty panels, and then 2 flowers. And I think this is just what it needed. And it's no surprise because Orla Kiely, the designer I'm greatly inspired by for this design, uses a lot of symmetry and repetition in her designs, so it makes sense that it would look better with symmetry and repetition. I think I will keep it with these 4 flowers for the back, and then I think if my panels are correct all the way around my circle skirt, I mean, this is something I have sewn myself, so it could be that it is not, there will be 2 more flowers in the middle at the back. And then when I twirl with this circle skirt, it's pretty flowers all over. So yeah, exactly, it is a case of how my art teacher calls it, stealing with your eyes. Just seeing at what works in what inspires you and then applying it to your own thing. Not plainly copying, that's plagiarism, we don't do plagiarism, but my art teacher says every good artist knows how to steal with their eyes. And as you can see, that is what happened. I stole with me eyes. As feared, my skirt is not an even panels wide at the back. I'm going to go with what seems visually to be the middle and just put 2 flowers there and call it good. Like, this is the back of me. What that looks like is none of my problems. Friends, I am beyond happy and excited for both these pieces. I think mainly the skirt. I don't know. I keep looking at myself in the mirror like this and just thinking, what an amazing skirt. Why did it never occur to me earlier to do something like this with a skirt? Oh, I'm so happy. Folky florals, vintage abstracted folky florals, they just make me so happy. This is peak dopamine dressing for me, and I hope for you too that you get like the happy chemicals from seeing me in such happy, almost clowncore clothing. I'm so happy with it. Yeah, and these two also so cute. And now that there is this addition of the pink and the blue, which are almost the exact colors in which I have two shirts, there is suddenly so much more possibilities and opportunities in my mind to wear this cardigan, and that was the goal, of course. I took two pieces that were previously a little bit underloved, and now I am so excited to start wearing them again. Like that was the goal. That was for me the meaning of upcycling these two things, to get that excitement back, to wear them. Like, this is a very nice cardigan. It's so soft. It is like a Angora wool blend. I love it, and now I love it even more because it has the flowers. I can't contain my excitement. I really have difficulties with containing my excitement. I want to. Yeah. But I did this thing again where I showed them to you and like did all the talking about them before they are actually finished, because now I want to secure my art, my wearable art. I'm going to lightly wet felt the insides, so where the loose wool is right now, so that, I don't know, I just want to secure it and make sure that my wearable art stays actually wearable for a very, very long time. After that lightest of wet felting on the back, I think I went a little bit harsher on the skirt because I know I can be a little bit harsher with that. I rinsed them in some water, get all the soapy suds out, and now both my pieces are lying in my laundry room to dry. Lying, not hanging, because they are wool and you want to lie them flat. I think this was the best invested euro probably ever. I don't know. Just snatching up this little kit, and I didn't even use half of the wool that was in there. And now I have two amazing new pieces actually. Like, I wasn't drawn to wearing them as they were, and now I am. I am actually a little bit sad that I have to wait until they are dry now. And that just with a little kit from the thrift store. Now, looking at the back side of this, I realize this was not the complete kit, because this kit should also contain 4 A4 sheets of felt and a wooden handle. That would have been so useful. I think I will try and source some kind of handle for these needles, because the pinching down on the one singular needle was a little bit painful at the end, and a handle is probably what remedies that. And I think I do want to buy a handle, because I also think I do want to do more of this needle felting. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I really thoroughly enjoyed that this is now a new craft that I know in this year 2026. Yeah. Ha! Now I will have to find a new project that is better than this to top the first video of the year. Oh, I have put myself a challenge. Anyway, friends, if you like these kind of fiber shenanigans, then maybe you could like, comment, or subscribe. But of course, that is all up to you. And as for me, I will see you in a next video. But before we do that, maybe you could take a look at some more crafting shenanigans. Bye!